Play as the Destined One, retrace Wukong's journey, and face the clash of gods and monsters. This is Black Myth Wukong, a game that brings ancient Chinese legends to life. Are you excited about the game's release and looking for background info to get yourself prepared? Today we are dive into the story that inspired it all, Journey to the West. As someone who grew up in China, I'm here to share some insights to help you fully appreciate this epic tale. Wukong, or the Monkey King, is arguably the most iconic fictional character in Eastern culture. He's one of the main characters in the 16th century novel Journey to the West, which is one of the 4 great classical novels of Chinese literature. This story has shaped the imagination of billions, if not hundreds of billions, inspiring countless adaptations across novels, movies, TV shows, and anime series. But none of these adaptations have generated as much excitement among young adults like myself, who grew up immersed in Eastern culture, as the game Black Myth Wukong. Developed by Game Science, this game precisely represents the ancient, mythical world of Chinese history. For me, it feels like those old tales are finally coming to life. So why do you need to know about Journey to the West before you play the game? What makes Black Myth Wukong even more intriguing to me is its approach to storytelling. Instead of simply retelling Journey to the West, Game Science has created an original story that takes place long after the original journey, while still staying true to the spirit of the novel. They've incorporated the main characters, their stories, and backgrounds, adding their own unique twists. This blend of old and new brings a fresh sense of excitement to the story. However, for those unfamiliar with the Journey to the West, there might be barriers to fully understand the game. As someone who grew up in China, I'm excited to finally see our treasured ancient Chinese myth sharing with the world. I don't want you to miss out any details or fun because of lack of information. So I'm creating this channel and a series of videos to unpack Journey to the West from a Chinese perspective. And yes, I will be adding my own understanding as a general reader too, just for disclaimer. My goal? To help you find more joy when playing Black Myth Wukong. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. So, do you have the question of why it can be interpreted as a black myth? In short, Journey to the West is about a monk and 3 monsters, referred to as Yao Guai in Chinese, overcoming tremendous challenges to retrieve Buddhist scriptures known as Zhen Jing and bring them back to Tang Dynasty China. The story is based on the real-life journey of a monk named Sanzang, who traveled from China to what is now Pakistan and India, facing unimaginable dangers to bring back those Buddhist teachings. However, the novel is much more than just an adventure. It blends mythology from Chinese history, Taoism, and Buddhism, creating a rich tapestry of cultural and spiritual elements. The journey team consists of Tang Sanzang, the monk, Sun Wukong the Monkey King, Zhu Bajie the pig, Sha Wujing, or known as Sha Seng, and their horse Bai Long Ma. All powerful beings who, due to their past sins, are now serving Tang Sanzang on his journey as bodyguards and logistics support. The story unfolds episodically, much like a modern TV show or anime series. Most episodes represent a new challenge, usually caused by one or more Yao Guai, and end with the team solving the problem, often by Wukong, sometimes with the help of the entire team as well. And of course, there's a lot of fighting, magic, and spells involved. But this story isn't just about entertainment. Journey to the West was developed and expanded by collective authors over hundreds of years, each embedding their own life experiences, observations, and thoughts about life and society at that time. These episodic challenges offer readers new insights with every revisit, especially as you grow older or see it from a different perspective. Some Taoists even say it contains a guide to achieving immortality. More commonly though, it's seen as a satire of bureaucracy, teaching readers how to navigate and survive within the system. This is why it can be interpreted in a dark or black way. In Eastern culture, we love using implications and liu bai, which means intentional blank space, to hide the true story, leaving clues for the reader to uncover by themselves. These clues are embedded within the positive descriptions of how successful the journey is and how righteous the gods are. They all hint at the probability that the journey and its challenge were half-planned, half-political battles between different groups of gods battling for influence, rather than a straightforward quest accomplished by the team of four. The book has three major parts. The first part of the book is about Wukong's rebellion, which covers Wukong's birth from stone, his learning of great powers, his rebellion against the Taoist heaven, and his eventual suppression by the Buddha. The opening chapters begin to depict the hierarchy structure of the mythological society in the story, where there are humans and animals, Taoist and Buddhist monk, Yao Guai, and gods. Human and animals are at the bottom of the food chain due to their limited lifespans and powers. They can gain power and extend their lifespan through cultivation, alchemical pills or medicine, or enlightenment by gods. Humans may become Taoist or Buddhist monks, while animals can become Yao Guai, forming the next tier. They can be incredibly powerful, even more so than some gods, as is the case with Wukong. But the power alone isn't enough to join the ranks of the gods. These powerful beings need recognition from the system or approval from major gods to be part of them, and there are limited seats as well. Different groups of gods rule over certain regions and matters, with Buddhist gods in the west and Taoist gods in China, which is in the east. Most of the gods live in heaven, some of them live in the underworld, and the human and animals live in the mortal world. The monk and the Yao Guai live in the mortal world as well, but some of them has capability to travel to the heaven or to the underworld. One example of the hidden dark truth with interesting clues in this part starts with how Wukong learns his powers, enabling the rebellion, and ends with his eventual suppression by the Buddha. Wukong had a master long before the journey, who taught him all his capabilities that rival those of the gods. He traveled far away from Huaguoshan, which is in the east and where he was born, to find his master, Puti Zushi, or Patriarch Buddhi. Puti Zushi specifically predicted that Wukong would cause great trouble in heaven, and warned him that if he ever revealed who his master was, there would be no mercy. Wukong never disclosed this information ever, and interestingly, Puti Zushi never appears again in the story, almost as if he never existed. For those familiar with Buddhism, Buddhi is a key concept in Buddhism representing the realization of the true nature of reality. So who was the true Patriarch Buddhi, and was Wukong's rebellion and subsequent suppression by the Buddha merely a coincidence? These are the Liu Bai or hidden blanks, for the readers to fill in by themselves. The second part of the book is about Tang Sanzang's mission and how the journey to the west begins. One common misconception is that the team Tang Sanzang, or Emperor Taizong of the Tang dynasty, initiated the quest, similar to the historical event. However, in the novel, it was actually the Buddha's idea. He wanted someone to bring the Buddhist scriptures of transcendence and persuasion for goodwill back to China. Remember, the Buddhist gods were in the west, and the Tang dynasty and Taoist gods were in the east, where Buddhism was not widely accepted. The Buddha instructed Guan Yin Pusa to set the journey in motion, and the pursuing team needed to experience 9 by 9, which is 81 challenges to test their determination. As Guan Yin Pusa reached Xi'an, the capital of Tang China, Emperor Taizong happened to experience death, visited the underworld, and witnessed the terrifying fate awaiting him. He was told to turn to Buddhism for salvation, and Guan Yin Pusa, disguised as an old monk, informed him that the true Buddhist scriptures were in the west at the Leyin Temple, and that he needed to send someone to retrieve them for salvation. The emperor chose Sanzang as Tang's representative to pursue the scriptures. Sanzang's past life, coincidentally, was the Buddha's second disciple, who was banished to the mortal world for disrespecting the Buddhist teachings. Do you sense something to connect the dots? The third part and the major part of the book is about the journey itself and the 81 challenges. At the beginning of the journey, with the help of Guan Yin Pusa, Tang Sanzang accepts 3 disciples and 1 horse. They were all powerful monsters, formerly gods, who had been banished to the mortal world due to crimes or sins. Sun Wukong is the first, followed by Zhu Bajie or Zhu Wuneng. Sha Wujing is the third, as Sha Seng, and finally Bai Long Ma, the horse. Interestingly, Zhu Bajie and Sha Wujing were both gods from the Taoist heaven before their banishment. You can easily observe the distinct behavior patterns of these two compared to Wukong when facing challenges and sufferings. Wukong, of course, is the problem solver of the team. Zhu Bajie, known as the pig, is driven by desire and isn't always determined to finish the journey. Sha Wujing is quieter, dutiful, but feels like only do what is required. Their patterns also change slightly throughout the journey, reflecting their personal growth and understanding of their system. Along the journey, the team travels through different regions and countries, facing various challenges and monsters, or Yaoguai. Some of the Yaoguai are negotiable, while others are hostile and seek to consume Sanzang for immortality. Some of these monsters are wild animals who have spent hundreds of years cultivating into powerful Yaoguai, while others were once the staff, paths, or monks of Taoist and Buddhist gods. As you read the book, you will notice some interesting patterns in who gets killed and who is spared. These survivors will play major roles in Black Myth Wukong as bosses or NPCs. Based on the content review so far, my guess is that Game Science has written a sequel following a similar concept, but reversing the roles of the gods and monsters, allowing players to experience the journey from a new perspective. In my next video, I'll dive deeper into some basic concepts in Chinese mythology and Journey to the West, helping you better understand the logic behind the NPCs, bosses, and the game Black Myth Wukong. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video, or leave a comment to let me know what you'd like to learn more about. Let's confront our destiny on August 20th.